Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Over here, I read anonymous stories online. So if you like listening to anonymous stories, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I am confused on which of these guys to settle with. Let me tell you all about them so you can tell me what you think. The first guy, let's call him P. I met P 2022. We were attached to each other. The first time we met, the vibe was there. I thought we liked each other, but I waited and he never proposed. So I dated someone else. Few weeks later, he found out and was hurt because he said he was scared to let me know his feelings. The guy I dated had a serious girlfriend and we broke up. P and I started to talk again. He's a very naive, quiet person who hasn't been in a relationship before and doesn't know much. His mom once picked my call and spoke to me harshly. He apologized and we settled it. We dated from 2022 August until 2023. His mom was overprotective. He was in level 400 and his mom wouldn't let him speak to a girl. We broke up, but I stopped talking to him. He tried, but I didn't give him chance. Note, he told me no intimacy until marriage. I met a guy called S. After P, S was the fun type to be with. He started to mess up, like ghosting and not communicating. Eventually, I started losing everything for S, and when he noticed he was losing me, he started acting right, and he has been acting all loving until now. But the love for him is gone. When he was messing, I met another guy. Let's call him K. PSK. K is 7 years older than I am. He lives out of the country. He was all I ever wanted in a guy. But his communication becomes poor when he's there, but he's the best when he's here. I have only had intimacy with S and K, but P still wants us to wait until marriage. And he wants us to get together and get married, but S is not agreeing to back off, and I kind of have feelings for K. P spoke to me and I told him what happened when we separated. He doesn't care about it and still wants us to get married. K has promised marriage, but I don't know when, and he doesn't look ready. But P too looks serious but isn't ready for marriage. Now I'm scared if I get back to P, he might show me shaggy because men don't easily forget this. But he is a godly man, always asking me for my prayer requests, showing me love and caring for me. A part of me tells me to go to P and settle with him, but a piece of me is still with K. P is not romantic. I'm now teaching him lots of things about relationships, and his mom is troublesome. Right now, amongst these, I don't know who to choose. P is a mechanical engineer, S is a teacher, and K is an anesthesiologist. Anesthesiologist abroad. I can make my decision. I know I wish to go for P, but his mom, who was a single mother, and he was her only child, will cause issues. He's more of a mommy's boy. S too, they hustle, but he know they break up, so I've left him alone. But K is showing me attitude and he gives me attention when he wants. Honestly, after reading the story, SKP, I've forgotten. PSK was a thing. I've forgotten who is who and what is what and where is where. It's serious. But it's not just about, you have to consider how you feel, who you see yourself with long time, because you seem confused and I don't think you are even ready. Because you and Kasakran, you don't know what you want. If you knew what you want, we'll not be doing SPK things here, you bab. Oh, this is so confusing. I'll not even lie. Me, I feel like you don't even need any of that right now because you are confused. You should have even said your age. This is so confusing. Is it an audition? You have so many options. You may end up not even choosing the right one because your energy needs to be focused. In my opinion, your energy needs to be focused at a particular place in order to see the person for who they are. Although you can never know a person 100, but then you are focused. You are seeing what you have to see. Right now, you are choosing the things you want to see, but you are not really focused on a particular person to get to know them. So what makes you think that you are making the right decision with S, P, or K? PSK. My girlfriend took a break from me and spent the summer with another guy so she could be sure. This was a premeditated decision. In the spring of that year, we were both in college and had been together for 6 years at that point. I was unaware, but she had been conversing with a guy in class. Feelings grew. She swore she never cheated or did anything physical or even met him outside of class. But they did have a lot of text conversations for the months leading up to her revelation. Just as the semester ended, she sat me down and told me she was going to stay with him for the summer. He had just finished school and was moving to a new city and had an apartment lined up. She was going to stay with him for June and July, then return for her senior year. She offered me her phone and said I could read everything that was there. She wanted me to know she had not cheated. I was a mess. I love her immensely and did then as well. I was begging her not to do this. She tried to be as comforting and consoling as possible, but at the same time was steadfast she was going to do this. Her main reasoning being we had only ever been with each other and she needed to know she wasn't missing out. I couldn't even begin to guess how many times she said she loved me. Still, she saw a potential future and this was just to be sure. She even encouraged me to date. She left 5 days after this conversation. I tried so hard to get her to stay, but she went. I worked and did nothing else those 2 entire months. I didn't socialize. I barely ate. I barely slept. I went from 185 to 165. That's he lost weight. She asked me to not contact her. I respected that. I was living in our apartment. Everything was a reminder, a trigger. It was the worst, most painful time of my life. I knew she would return, even if not for me. We still had a year to go in college, and she did return 1 week sooner than expected. It was a Sunday, and she just showed up at the apartment. She broke down in tears upon seeing me. I was so much thinner, eyes sunken, mildly unkempt. The apartment wasn't disgusting, but it wasn't nice either. She told me she knew just from looking at me that she had destroyed me. We both cried for a long time. She was so apologetic. She said she knows now. She wants me and only me. I was more than willing to take her back. We had a tense honeymoon phase upon her return, where we were both tiptoeing around each other, spending lots of time together, but also having this elephant in the room. That lasted a month. So when I started having the anxiety attacks, this is when we finally started to address some of the issues which we had largely avoided. It couldn't have been timed worse as we started to go back to classes about this time as well. Over the next 9 months or so, I became more and more depressed. I was verbally abusive at times. Zoe took it. Everything I said, she always tried to reassure me, always took responsibility. I asked all the time what I had lacked, what could I do better, why wasn't I good enough, what more did she need. She always said I was great the way I was, that she made the choice she did, not because of any fault of my own, but out of her own immaturity. We discussed what her life those 7 weeks was like. Obviously, it was a full sexual relationship. They went on dates, they slept in the same bed, showered together. That was our thing. At least to me, it was. Talked about where this was going. I didn't think the wandering, the mind movies would be easier to deal with than the truth. But I have a lot of days where I wish I was still just with my imagination. The hardest part to cope with is she told me she returned early for me, but at the same time, after his initial 6 weeks, he was offered the same position at another branch. That branch was about 5 hours away. Initially, he was only about 40 minutes away from our campus. They talked and decided that while this had been fun, he wasn't sure it was worth continuing long distance. She told me she had mixed feelings, which was to her an indicator to return to me and try and redeem herself. I, on the other hand, now endlessly wonder if she would have come back at all if not for him moving. That makes a lot of sense. That's very valid. I think that right now, the doubts and everything, she was not being fair to you from the onset. Now it's up to you because you took the thing hit you so hard. You should be recovering by now and you should take a standpoint, because you people, that's how it turns toxic, when you don't make a conscious effort to take a good decision for yourself, because you've noticed from all that you said, from my thinking, you are no longer interested. The thoughts of what she's going to do disturbs you a lot. So It's better to end it now than to keep feeding yourself some lies and fairy tales. It's either you forgive her genuinely and move forward and give her the benefit of the doubt, or you communicate with her effectively and let her know you are not okay with it and you don't want to move on from that. You just want to end things. But I don't know, it's like you want to string her along until you just wake up and say you've changed your mind. That will make you a bad person. Make your decision now and just focus on yourself, because the more you think about it, the more draining, like it's mentally stressful for you at the end of the day. I'm not sure she's even as stressed as you are right now, losing weight and all of that. So you should put yourself first and choose what will be of benefit to you. My wife and I started dating in July of 2016 after knowing each other for about a month. When I met her, she never dressed feminine or had interest in getting her nails or hair done. She grew up with parents who were more focused on raising her brothers, especially they treated her like she was another son, neglecting her needs as a woman. She had to learn about most womanly things on her own, like how to deal with a period, how to set boundaries with boys, that kind of stuff. When I met her, I could tell she had no idea how beautiful she was inside and out. The way she communicated spoke to my heart, and I fell for her pretty hard. I built her confidence up from nothing, bought her feminine clothes, flowers, jewelry. I showed her how a man treats his woman. Through 8 years, we had many ups and downs, but always rebounded and had very healthy ways of dealing with conflict. In 2020, I popped the question, and in 2022, we had a beautiful wedding with all our closest friends and family present. After we got married, our relationship got even stronger, but soon she started having problems with closeness and intimacy. Something inside her felt awkward or strange touching me, so she slowed down and I felt that pull away. We went to couples counseling in 2023 to try and work on it, and unfortunately didn't get much out of it. Her and I found a way to fix the issue on our own and had the best relationship from 2023 to July 2024. A 6-figure job opened up at her job in 2024, and I pushed her to pursue it even though she wasn't qualified. She didn't believe in herself, but I did. She interviewed and got the job, but it meant she did have to go off to Colorado for a month to do schooling. No big deal. Our relationship was stronger than ever, so I was excited for her. She came home in August of 2024, but she didn't really come home mentally. She was pushing me away, dismissive of my efforts and feelings, talking and messaging her boss every single night for hours whilst drinking. I told her it made me uncomfortable, but she persisted. Eventually, it popped off. During a BBQ, him and her got extremely drunk and made out. He put his hands in her pants all the while no one was around. Later that night, she tried putting her hands in his pants under some blankets. After I found out, I was furious and demanded answers. Both were drinking, but that was in no way an excuse. I was told that they weren't allowed to talk anymore and threatened to beat the guy into the dirt. They kept talking, and I was finding traces of messages open doors to each other's social medias. The fighting from this caused so much anger that I left our state to give her the space she wanted from me. After a week, she told me that she really wanted me to come home and try to fix the issue. When I did come home, I bought roses, champagne, candles, and got the entire house cleaned up. She came home to all that love and effort. We slept with each other and talked things through, and things seemed fine. A couple of days later, I noticed how much she was talking to a female co-worker, and I started asking questions. Turns out the guy made a fake Snapchat and they were both pretending it was a co-worker so they could keep talking. We talked about divorce many times through this, but never got to that barrier. We started couples counseling to start and try to heal our issues. Missed out on spending Halloween with her, my favorite holiday, because she sent me away, but I was hopeful for Thanksgiving. She had to work on the actual day, but had Black Friday off. I was preparing to do a mini Thanksgiving for us. She miraculously got called into work, and that was pretty much it. I noticed her location was far from work, and I realized I had been conned. She was out on a date with him, so I got in my car and followed. I couldn't catch up to them because her location was pinging from different areas. I finally found their destination, a huge Christmas festival with lights, music, food. I was horrified. It should be me here with her, not some random guy she met just months ago. I looked for them but couldn't find them. I realized if I did find them, I did be going to jail, because if I got my hands on him, I was going to him. I went home. I called her out and told her I knew. She came home and we were certain about a divorce. She told me this story about how her co-worker saw her at the gas station and invited her. That was a bunch of other people. I believed her because I wanted it to be true. We went to Hawaii the next week because we had tickets. We had purchased way earlier in the year. We figured distance might help. First night out there, she got angry at me because another woman picked up on me. For the first time in our relationship, she got physical. Okay, this your wife, she seems very toxic, because it's like she doesn't want you in this life. I'm saying, if somebody shows you that they don't want you and you're still there, they will now be treating you like paper, like trash, like you are of no value, because she's shown you several times that she's not interested, and you keep entertaining the toxicity. You keep placing yourself in there. We should normalize stepping out when we recognize that we are no longer needed. At this point, I can't be like, oh, you're just being loving and everything. You are being stupid. You should have common sense. And I do acknowledge how feelings work, but you will stay there and they will maltreat you emotionally, physically, mentally. You are drained if you do not take the decision. Me sitting here can't take the decision for you. So if you can look at based of all that you've written, you don't have common sense to see that they are treating you like trash. It's me that is going to tell you. Like sometimes, let's forget about being polite, because me being polite and telling you to leave will not really change the situation. You are not being treated fairly, and you should be sensible enough, as grown as you are, to step out, put yourself first. Sometimes you are behaving as if you are not loved at home. That's why she's showing you shaky. Leave her and move on with your life as she's doing. Isn't she happy? Make sure you're also happy. It's that simple. Come on. So guys, I've come to the end of today's video, and thank you so very much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you want to. But if you like this video, please like it, okay? And also see you on Sundays and Wednesdays, because that is when that I post. See you in my next video.